Do you ever feel like your brain has way too many tabs open? It's like you're constantly rushing from one thing to the next. Your to-do list is a mile long and you can't remember the last time you just sat still? Yeah, that was me. My mind was always racing, buzzing with anxiety, and I felt like I was running a marathon every single day without a finish line in sight. I knew something had to change. So, I decided to try an experiment. For 1 week, I would intentionally live slower. And what happened next honestly changed everything. The first couple of days were surprisingly hard. My brain was so used to being busy that slowing down felt wrong. I'd be drinking my morning coffee and my hand would be twitching, wanting to grab my phone to check emails. I'd sit down to read a book, and my mind would immediately start making a mental grocery list. It was a real battle against my own habits. The urge to multitask was so strong. I realized I wasn't just physically rushing through life. I was mentally rushing too. I never allowed myself to be fully present in any single moment. So, I set some ground rules. No phone for the first hour of the day. Instead, I just sat with my coffee and looked out the window. I started taking my lunch break away from my desk, actually going outside for a walk without listening to a podcast. I turned off all non-essential notifications on my phone. These seemed like such small changes, but they were a huge deal. Instead of scarfing down my meals in 5 minutes, I made myself chew slowly and actually taste the food. Sounds simple, right? But it felt revolutionary. By day 4, something started to shift. The constant buzz in my head began to quiet down. I noticed things I hadn't before, like the way the sunlight hit the leaves on my walk, or the funny little habits of my cat. I was having conversations with people where I was actually listening, not just waiting for my turn to talk. My creativity started coming back. Ideas for projects I'd been stuck on for months suddenly started flowing. It was like my brain finally had space to breathe, and once it did, it started working so much better. I wasn't less productive. I was more focused and intentional with the work I was doing. The biggest surprise was how it affected my sleep. For years, I'd struggled with falling asleep because my mind would just not shut off. But during this week, I slept like a log. I felt more rested and woke up feeling calm instead of instantly stressed about the day ahead. The constant, low-level anxiety that had been my shadow for so long had significantly faded. It turns out that by giving my mind permission to slow down during the day, I was also giving it permission to rest at night. What's the takeaway from my week of slow living? You, Dan T., have to quit your job and move to a cabin in the woods to find peace. It's about making small, intentional choices every single day. It's about single-tasking instead of multitasking. It's about putting your phone down and looking up. This 1 week taught me that the constant rush isn't sustainable, and it's definitely not the key to success or happiness. True clarity comes from stillness. I'm definitely not perfect at it yet, but I'm no longer aiming for a life that's fast. I'm aiming for a life that's full. If you feel overwhelmed, I highly recommend you try it, even just for a day. You might be surprised at what you discover. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. See you next time.